Dr. Sande.
Yes, Honorable Chair, yes, it's a question, but it's the question I was reflecting on. And Chair, I want to propose that when we present the letter,
No.
I am acting Chief Executive Officer. The reading of the law says the Chief Executive Officer shall be the accounting officer. If I'm not, but we can read it.
No, Public Finance Management Act.
The accounting officer has a special instrument of appointment as acting as accounting officer for a given financial year. And on that one, whether you're acting CEO or not, the accounting officer appointment is substantive. And so we are asking, do you have appointment as the accounting officer of the Insurance Regulatory Authority?
No, sir.
Chair, we are dealing with
Let's ask from your head legal. Head legal, you said that you are a secretary. According to the secretary of the board, according to your understanding of the law, who is the accounting officer of the Insurance Regulatory Authority? The legal advisor of the board. Put the microphone closer.
Chair, the appointment letter that I'm looking at appointed Dr. Sande as acting Chief Executive Officer to carry out the roles of the Chief Executive Officer. So I would presume that he's the accounting officer based on that.
And
presume under what?
I don't want us to rely on a document not yet presented to the committee. It will do us good service if you had submitted that particular instrument or appointment document. We would go through together than relying on your interpretation in the soft copy. But in your appreciation of the law, the accounting officer for the Insurance Regulatory Authority is by virtue of being the CEO, the chief executive. Be on the record.
Yes, Chair.
How come that the acting chief executive officer was not briefed, if that was your interpretation of the law? Do you report to office anyway?
Do I? Sorry.
Do you report to the to office?
Yes, I do, Chair.
Who was the accounting officer before?
Before the appointment of the acting?
Yes.
Kadunabi.
What happened? What happened? Would you give us a chronology from the board's view?
Chair, I think what I can say here is that the contract expired.
The contract expired?
Yes.
Could you, are you in possession of those, some of those contract documents?
Chair, I do not have those records.
Who has the custody of those?
I do not have record of
Who
those.
keeps custody?
Of the documents?
Yes.
They are kept in the Director Human Capital's office.
Is the director around?
Yes, he's around.
Director, come on record. How long have you served the Insurance Regulatory Authority?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. I have served the authority.
You put it closer.
I have served the authority for an estimate of 13 years.
13 years.
Yes, sir.
So, how many staff contracts expired, if any?
Well, Mr. Chair, 90% of our staff on contract, and the renewal of those contracts is as and when they expire and as recommended to be renewed. I may not be able to tell how many have expired on the record on head.
So, but for this year, how many expired this year?
I have around 16 contracts that have expired and in the process of being renewed.
Where are those people with expired contracts? Are they among you?
No, sorry. I have one contract which has expired.
No. Are you changing from 16 to 1?
I'm
That is a big
changing.
number.
I'm changing.
Why?
The 16, the one
Yes.
I mentioned, are in the process of being renewed. Those
No. They are being renewed. They expired, but they are being renewed.
No, allow me, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
I have one contract which has expired.
Yes.
But the 16 that I was mentioning, those ones have not yet expired because our policy requires that when the contract remains with a period of 6 months, somebody can apply for a renewal. So the 16 are in the process. But that particular one expired.
So the 16 are due to expire.
Yes, they will be expiring in the period of six months.
We need copies of staff contracts. We want to understand together with you, to appreciate your position. Copies of those contracts for all the staff.
Okay, we are taking notes.
For all the staff. Now, for that particular staff whose contract expired, what happened?
The contract for the staff whose contract expired is within the jurisdiction of the board, and the board to process the renewal. That's the accounting officer.
And the board processes in how many, which period?
Mr. Chair, I will request the board secretary to probably respond to that.
Secretary to the board.
The processing should be done. I think that's dependent on the minister. But for the board, before the contract expires, they then sit, deliberate, and make the recommendation, the relevant recommendation to the minister.
Is the board under duty to renew or not to renew? What are the considerations when an applicant makes an application?
Chair, again, I want to read from the law and what it says
Yes, what does the law
about that
say?
particular one. Again, it just says the chief executive officer shall be appointed by the minister on recommendation of the board on terms and conditions specified in his or her instrument. So the board does sit in respect to that, deliberates and makes a decision, then makes the recommendation, the relevant recommendation before the expiry, Chair.
Yes, clarification.
The clarification I'm seeking, Honorable Chair. What the contracts may a contract of 1 year, contract of 2 years, or there are those of 5 years. Those are, So I just wish to be well versed on that. I wish to pose a motion with the support of honorable members that Insurance Regulatory Authority needs time. The more we are here, the more questions are coming in. Chair, with your indulgence.
I understand, but before I can process that motion, we must also know how best to deal with the entity. And from this individual interaction, we get a basis.
Chair.
Because we cannot, the way they came, probably in some way or the other, they may need some advice here and there or assistance. Our major purpose is to process the Utajinos report, and that the authority continues to operate. And in one way or the other, it affects the vote. So we need to capture and arrest any areas of interest. Probably and advise before they commence. What if a person transacts of a vote without authority and with not being the accounting officer? We cannot just wait to attend to challenges. We need to process it out.
Chair.
Yes, whatever, Bruce.
And Chair, in addition to what you're saying, I see a procedural flaw that is occurring.
Waiting as accounting officer. Or you have one, or you haven't read it properly.
Chair, I have an instrument appointing me as acting chief executive officer to perform the roles and responsibilities of the chief executive officer. While in that same instrument, while retaining my substantive position as director strategy and market development.
So you retain your substantive office and then you also take on the acting role.
Yes, and that appointment is for 6 months, meaning that it's interim.
It's interim.
6 months appointment.
And the accounting office, I think, is for a financial year? For a full financial year. Yes?
Just wanted to add on, in case the motion you moved succeeds, I would suggest that the previous accounting officer.
We must transact based on the law and evidence. The available evidence does not enable us to proceed. the instrument as signed requires a backup evidence, which you didn't carry. And we cannot transact using the evidence or any information on your phone. So, in the circumstances, and given that as a committee, we feel we are able and uncomfortable of transacting based on unsubstantiated facts. I want to send you back, but of course it concerns us. We spared today to internalize and ascertain all the queries as detailed down in the Auditor General's report. We are also concerned about management issues. And as the Insurance Regulatory Authority, you will be the backup institution for Ugandans, because insurance is a very, very strategic entitlement we need and we must have. Now, when at the regulatory level we have such concerns, it really causes alarm. And I want to send you back to return on 10th August with the board. We want the board of the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda. We no longer want to entertain hearsay, and the secretary of the board claims she cannot answer some questions without authority of the board. We want the chairperson and her board to come. You come with the chairperson. Secondly, we want you to avail the committee with all the enabling documents which we have raised here, and I think you listed them. The alleged list of assets that are in possession of the former accounting officer, as demanded by the chairperson board or the board. We want a clear record of the meetings, how we arrived in this situation, how did the board transact up to the level of coming up with the current position and decision. We want clear proof from the Minister of Finance.
Chair, the former CEO, they should come along with the former CEO, but also Chair,
I wanted to also issue the independent summons or invitation for now.
Okay.
I want the clerk to make invite the former chief executive and the former accounting officer, because they appear not to be talking to each other.
And
I want you to issue a substantive invitation.
Chair,
to the former accounting officer. I don't know if it is right to address him as former. He may be saying he's still the accounting officer. So I think you will figure out, but the name is called Haji who? Haji cannot be Ibrahim Rebega. So we shall invite him as
Chair, through you.
Because we may invite him as a former and he protest.
Through you, Chair.
So
through you, Chair. Chair, there is.
We shall invite the PSST. So we shall need the PSST, but as well also the accounting officer for the financial year under audit 2024-2025. Then we shall also need the board and your team, because we need to iron out the preliminary issues over the Insurance Regulatory Authority. Then we proceed to transact and receive responses on the audit report, and all those are required. So I'm sending you away.
You send them away?
Yes.
Chair, there is in our in-house meeting earlier in the morning.
In this period, please arrange to give us an elaborate account of all these questions, because you have not ably answered them. You refer to office.